Hi loves, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I'm Cara with Slay on a Budget, where we do beauty, fashion, and lifestyle. If that seems like something you're interested in, please subscribe to the Slay fam. Today, as always, and it's a little bit longer, I have a special treat for you guys, so you might as well stay tuned and keep on watching. Okay, love, so you can see by the title of this video that we're going to be doing a get ready with me today. So I am having a little bit of a late start. It is in the afternoon. By now, I have already be faced generally and at least recorded a lot to a video, at least one video. So it's around 1 o'clock this afternoon as I'm shooting this. So my son is up. Any background noise you're going to hear will be my son. So I do apologize in advance. Also, this video is not sponsored. So any of these brands that you see me utilizing, I did purchase this with my own money. So I'm not going to really elaborate on any of the products, but any opinions that I give will be my own. So loves, I'm wearing my new robe today and I'm trying to be excited about this video because this is a lot about me. So this is going to be a rather long video. So if you want to grab you something to drink, a snack, yeah. So I know y'all can already tell by my thumbnail that this is something a little unorthodox for me. I haven't even made my thumbnail, but I know that's what got your attention. So this is me on my mental health journey. So on Sundays, I kind of just want to be able to talk to you guys like about some real things, and I would like you guys to comment down below letting me know like what do you think, and like honestly, like what's your opinion on some of these things. So before we get started, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, and I'm gonna pop off camera, do my eyebrows, and then we'll like get it started with the makeup, okay? So these are like some simple things about me that you kind of should know if you've been watching a couple of my videos. If this is your first time here, I know you already subscribed because you want to be a part of the Slay fam. Anywho, so I'm 34 years old right now. So this summer, or end of summer, I'll be turning the big 35, okay? So I'm divorced. I'm a single mom of a 1-year-old, okay? He's like 19 months. So I'm a new YouTuber, if you haven't figured it out, and if you haven't seen like my videos go from bad to like semi-good. Okay. Also, something I never really announced on my channel. So your girl is a United States Marine, okay? So I am in the Marine Corps. This June, I will be 12 years in the Marine Corps. So I try to do some things different in this video, as you should tell by the start of this video, besides me looking a mess. Okay. So, yeah, those are like some off the back things, and you should have known by the thumbnail of the video. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to pop off and do my eyebrows, and I will be back to kind of dive into those things I just talked about. Okay, love, so I did my eyebrows. I kind of already started my crease. I'm using my Juvia's Place, my favorite eyeshadow palette. I pretty much use this every video because sometimes when I try to deviate from that, it takes too long, and I don't need to take too long. So I did buy another palette while I was at home on my little vacay, my first vacay of the year. So I'm going to go ahead and get into why I was talking about this video. And also I wanted to let you guys know, if something's going to trigger you, please click off of this video because I am going to be talking about some big important topics, okay? So I don't want to trigger anything. So if I do, just click off, okay? And I know I need them subscribers and their watch time, but I also don't want to upset anybody because I am talking about mental health things. So yeah, first things first. Yes, I know I said that I am a United States Marine. So I wanted to lead with that because when I came onto the scenes of being on YouTube, and I'm talking about back in 18, when I was talking about my nails and everything, it was because every time I seen somebody that was in the military, they were the other branches except for the Marine Corps. So the main three I seen, whether they were a veteran or they were currently like serving, was the Air Force, the Army, and the Navy. And a lot of people I follow, they are either Air Force or Navy. I didn't know that. Like, a lot of stuff is kind of coming out. And I'm like, you was in the military? You was in the military? So, yeah, that was why I came up on the scenes of YouTube. Now, y'all, if I'm looking down, I'm trying to follow this script so I don't take forever long. I want my video to be within a certain time limit, okay? So, yeah, that was like the big thing behind me wanting to kind of say it, but I really didn't. The reason why I didn't, so let me elaborate on that, is because in the Marine Corps is very strict than all the other branches. I like to say we all go to the same school, but my branch is the valedictorian, okay? And this is in my opinion, okay? But of course I'm gonna say that because I'm Marine. Duh, we do a lot of crazy stuff that the other branches really don't have to do. And like, honestly, we like to breed and believe that, and we work for the same dollar. I actually like to do less for the same dollar. I'm just being honest, but I am part of this institution and this branch. So I'm just putting that out there. So those were like the two things I wanted to let people know in the military. Like, there's so many other things you can do if you're into big hair, you know, long hair, lashes, nails, makeup, because you can't always do that stuff in each branch in the uniform. Like, I know the Navy, because those are my sisters, they can wear different colored nails, but they can't wear all the spectrums like you can, and colors and designs and all that stuff. That's why I was bringing that up then. I know, like, in the Air Force, they can wear earrings and like all different uniforms. I can't do that. Definitely the Air Force can wear their hair in various ways that I can't do. We can't even do some simple things that y'all would think that we could. We can't, okay? So that was the reason why I wanted to honestly do a lot of these things and bring it up here to the YT to show people. So that's how I came upon the beauty part and the fashion, because I just really couldn't get into it. Like I only had my little 2-day weekend period to do it. And, you know, it's fine by me, but, you know, that was a thing. And that's why I wanted to introduce it, but I didn't want to introduce it, okay? And two, I don't follow the rules. I know y'all like, girl, you just said you was in, for almost 12 years now. Yeah, it's some things I don't like that they do, like, outside of work, that I feel like the military really shouldn't be involved in. So, like, what I wear, you know, how I look. Like, males can't wear earrings outside of the uniform. I think personally, this is just card speaking, I do think that's pointed toward a certain demographic of, you know, Marines. So, you know, your black and brown ones, because you don't really find no preppy white boys doing that. And I'm not being like any other type of way. I'm just saying that rule is very old, and not saying people don't do it today, but like most of them don't really care about that, if that makes sense. So those was one of the things, like, you know, that I don't like that they do when I'm outside of work. Like, y'all know I love my distressed jeans. I'm not really allowed to wear those. So, and you know, it's very hard to find jeans that, if you don't know, it is very hard to find jeans that don't have distressing in it for grown women. Trust me, because I'm always looking, one for work and two for my needs. So it's very, very hard. So that was the reasons why I didn't want to announce that I was in the military, like what branch I was in, and why I wanted to really lead with that, because, you know, sometimes I'm a little rule breaker. If you didn't notice by this video, I kind of decided to take one of the rules that I'm breaking off, because I'm in my house and I don't think nobody should tell me what I'm doing when I'm recording in my house. You know what I'm saying? I'm filming because I want to. But anywho, I digress. I move on. So, yeah. The nails honestly started me with the whole channel. It also led me to couponing and figuring out other things. It was the nails that helped me figure out how to do my lashes. I was already dabbling in wigs, but I've kind of gotten a little bit more into it. And it's like so much with that. So, yeah. At this point, y'all, on this little piece of paper, I wrote my eye makeup should be done. And it's not. So what I'm going to do is like get off and then come back on, because I really, really want to stick to my time, because what I'm about to explain next is going to make all this make sense, and it's going to be a little bit more serious, okay?
But you're giving me
Okay, loves, as you can see, kinda with me finishing up my eyes. So I did use the Ioni lashes from Dollar Tree. Y'all know these are my favorite ones. This one, I got a bunch of these. This one is the Wispy Full Dramatic ones. So definitely had to get that. But I wanted to bring you guys a product because I'm always bringing y'all like stuff from my video last time. I brought y'all this case from Amazon. So I wanted to bring you these 3 things that I got from Dollar Tree. These are makeup sponge cases, and I think they work perfect. So I have 3. I bought all 3 that they had. And luckily for me, from Ioni or the Sassy and Chic brand, I have sponges inside of this. So this is the Ioni's makeup sponge for the slanted bottom. I already have makeup on the bottom of it, so I can like kind of put this all, mix this all together. So it goes in this one, and they fit perfectly on the inside. So once I'm done, I'll kind of show you everything. So that is my makeup product of this video, okay? So if you haven't went to your local Dollar Tree, definitely go. So jumping back into what I was talking about earlier, that's kind of how the start of me making videos. But what I kind of wanted to talk about, I need to squeeze this sponge out some, y'all. It's a little too wet. Woo, yeah. Okay. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared because I'm like, this ain't blending like I want it to blend. So, always keep a paper towel by y'all. There we go. Because I don't want to be looking watery. We ain't over here playing blackface or anything. So, anywho, moving on. Well, behind me actually really filming was my marriage was going into shambles. Okay, so I used to do this job in the military where I take civilians and make them Marines. Okay, so I was stationed in South Carolina because that's where one of the depots, as they say, which y'all can Google all this mess and kind of get more information on it if you want to. But that's where they go. So I was training female recruits. They are integrated a little bit more now, so you can train females and males because we trying to be like everybody. Training has always been integrated, but they don't live together because that's integrated. But you know, whatever. That's once again my opinion. So that's what I used to do. During that time, I had been married for like a year and a half, and my marriage was just on the downhill side. So a lot of this is what I'm speaking about today is about the military world. And I feel like people don't understand the military world. And it's not really for you to understand. It's just some of the things that happen in actually civilian world, as we say, happens in the military world. It's just on a deeper scale. So anywho, I wanted to film and do that content because it was kind of helping me escape my reality. So I started a hobby. COVID was here. So yeah. But my marriage was in complete shambles. I was married for like a year and a half, And how I used to work was like I worked 3 months straight, like 7 days a week, 3 months straight. That's how it went, because they were in boot camp for 3 months. So I worked 3 months, okay? Sometimes I didn't get a day off. Like I worked 24 hours. Definitely in the beginning, I worked 4 days straight when I became like the mom of the platoon, okay? So I'm trying to relay stuff to you guys that y'all can understand. So, but at that time, I wasn't like a mom of a platoon. I was like, I'm gonna instill discipline in your behind, okay? That was me, and I was good at it. Anywho, my marriage was just going down. I was working 16-hour days or plus back then when you actually worked. And those, when I say like that, that's for the people who did this and understand what I'm talking about. And we're just gonna leave it at that. So I actually worked during that time, and yeah, when I say I worked, I was more of a worker bee. So I ran and screamed, as we said. So I lost a lot of weight during that time. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you scream, you can get you a 6-pack. Throwing it out there too. So yeah, so our marriage wasn't doing good. At the time, my ex-husband was transitioning to get out. He was hurt. He was going on to his 3rd surgery at this time. So his knee was supposed to be healing after a surgery, and we come to find out that it was torn again on the opposite side. The same knee he had surgery on, should I say. And so this is the other one. This is the Sassy and Chic sponge, and it fits perfectly on the inside. That's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys. But anywho, yeah, so he was just kind of going through a down phase. Now, granted, I'm 30 at this time, 31 or 30. I didn't really know how to be married outside of what my parents showed me, okay? So that's all I knew about marriage. We both were preachers' kids. We both were from Mississippi. I was from Southern Mississippi. He was from Northern Mississippi, but we met in the military, okay? So we met in Beaufort, South Carolina. Not where I was training at, but it's 2 bases down there. That's a Marine Corps base, and we were on what we consider, they deal with the air stuff. So we just say the air station. So that's what we were doing, and that's how I met, and that's when we got married, okay? So but during this time, I went to the other base where he was still on the one we originally worked at, and he was getting ready to, get his stuff to find out, his disability, and he was going to get out, right? So he was just going through a terrible time, and at that time, I didn't have all the time in the world to like really find out what was going on with him, because I worked. Like I would get up at 2 in the morning, and I would have to be at work at what we say 03:45. So 3:45 in the morning, I would have to be there. The girls went to sleep at 8 o'clock, and I would get off after 8. That was my day. So I was tired. When I got home, I slept. I didn't eat all the time. There wasn't a lot of things that I did, with my ex-husband during that time. So I was having a hard time. So anywho, you have a break in between there. You don't work 3 years like that. And you have a period of time between each time a platoon gets there, okay? So you just don't work 3 months. They graduate, and then you work 3 months again. You do, but you have like some weeks in between there. Does that make sense? So anywho, I had pushed my first 3, and then we have what we call as quota. Like you do something else to kind of help the kids that's on the base, like, because everybody can't be running and screaming, okay? So that's what I was doing during that time. So pretty much I helped out graduations, retirements, people who came in, certain type of ceremonies. That's the stuff that I did. And I also did scheduling. So the schedule was the same, but to make sure everybody was on the same schedule, blah, blah, blah. That's what I did. So during that time, he decided, since we were having trouble in our marriage, we wanted to do counseling. That's kind of how I picked up the hobby. That's kind of how I wanted to do the nails and stuff as well. So our marriage was suffering. I was doing stuff with the military that was costing a lot of time, and I just didn't have all the time in the world. I'm gonna stick this right here, y'all. With my ex-husband, which was a big thing for him. Now, mind you, during this time, he wanted me to move into back. He wanted me, honestly, to get out. I didn't know at the time, but he wanted me to get out, and he wanted me to move to the rural part of Mississippi, and I wasn't really about that, okay? So, anywho, let me kind of speed this part along because it's a little lengthy or whatever. So pretty much during that time, my marriage was failing. It was crumbling, okay? So eventually around in 19, he kind of got his verdict that he was getting out and the time frame he was getting out. So during that time, I didn't know he was talking with my dad, and my dad was telling me he shouldn't be leaving me or whatever, because, you know, his dad's a pastor, my dad's a pastor. And if he leaves, he's pretty much leaving the marriage. I didn't know that during that time because that wasn't stuff that my dad felt like I needed to know at that time and that I needed to be worried about. So I didn't want him to leave. He decided to take a job in Atlanta and like move 5 hours away from me pretty much. Because it wasn't in Atlanta. It was like a little bit past Atlanta, but I just say Atlanta. Anywho, when he got out, you have these newfound freedoms that you don't get when you're in the military. Now, he joined younger than I did, and he was still a baby. He was still in his 20s when he got out. I will not be in my 20s when I get out. So, clearly I'm 34 now. So, anywho, he took the job, he moved away, and when he moved away, he was on disability for the military. He landed a very good job, pretty much doing the same thing he did in the military, but getting paid way more. He was, you know, doing the same stuff he was kind of doing around there. He was playing for various churches. He's a guitarist. He plays the bass guitar. So he plays a lot of instruments, but that's his main one. And he stopped speaking to me. And I found out at that time when he got out that he got like this. It's hard to explain this part to y'all because if you're not in the military, you just don't understand. So like we're DOD, like contract employees in a sense, government employees for the military. So he received money from that. He received $30,000. In 5 months, he blew it all. And that's when he started talking to me again. And because he told me he didn't want to be married anymore. So we have no kids. He didn't want to be married. And I was like, whatever. We haven't been married that long. It was like 2 years. Clearly, you don't want to work it out. I can't really take off work. I was, at this time, I became a mom of my platoon. So I had to be there constantly. It wasn't like I can leave anymore. I went back to the girls. I didn't have that break that I was on. Like I had weekends off. I didn't have any of that anymore. So anywho, he decided to act like he was a free man. Okay. Just put it like that, long story short. So, at the end of 2019, he decided like he wanted to take these things seriously. He decided, as we say in the Black community back home, he was called to ministry. So he wanted to like he wanted me to be by his side. So in between one of the platoons I had, like I said, I was a mom at this time. I was thinking I was going to level up, but I didn't. So I was still going to be a mom for like the third time. And I was really getting tired of that. So I wanted to be a chief. So at this point we say senior. So I'm senior of the platoon. I have the mean, crazy people that was running around. And like, I'll insert some pictures in here of me that were published by the military. So I'll put those little pictures in there if I can find to show you how crazy I was looking. And yeah, anywho, that was me. This nice little thing. Anywho, he was called to ministry. He wanted me to, you know, kind of go with him as he did his first sermon. So since his dad's a preacher, he wanted to do his first sermon back at home. You know, well, from us being married, we did have a wedding ceremony. I didn't really care for one too much because he was my fourth engagement and I actually wanted to just get married. So, we did a small ceremony at our local church back, you know, in South Carolina. So, my parents only met his mom because his dad was sick and wasn't able to come around or whatever. So my parents decided to come up there since they no longer stay in Mississippi. They stay in Alabama now. To come up there, you know, like meet the entire family and all this kind of stuff and kind of make it a thing. Well, during that time, that's where little old Trey come from, okay? Because clearly there was going to be nothing because we weren't living together, okay? So I believed him during that time, and that's when my son was conceived. So during this time while he was gone, I didn't know his current wife now, he was talking to her. Didn't know all this, don't really care about it to even say that now to make him, you know, out to be a bad person. Because at the same time, this is Trey's other side, okay? We do call him the other side. We didn't split on good terms. I'm just letting y'all know that now. So if I say something petty, oh, well, your girl is about to go to therapy. So that's why I'm kind of getting some of this off my chest. Anywho, so, you know, this is kind of why I didn't pick up the YouTube thing. And I continue to do all this stuff with my social media because it was easier. I didn't have time to edit it. So I used to be up on my Facebook page doing videos like 3 times a week, honestly. And it's not so bad when you're not editing. When you're editing and doing this 3 times a week and doing reels and all this other stuff that, you know, things have developed since then, it's pretty hard, okay? And you seen the hours that I was working. It wasn't like I was going to be able to record and do those. And I was doing that stuff late at night. That was that. That was how everything was seeming like it was going to get on the right track. Well, we're fast forwarding again. So at this point, I was at the end of my contract to stay in the military or not. And they took so long with coming back. I was thinking I was getting out. I had 6 months and I started to look for other jobs. And one of the people that I worked for at the time was really getting on my nerves. So I thought maybe that was the best thing. And that the military just simply didn't want me anymore. Not that I was bad. They just simply didn't want me. So he was on board with that. And his idea was, in his head, which I didn't see it then, was for us to go back to rural Mississippi. And I'm not even from the sticks in Mississippi. So I didn't want to be staying in the sticks with him. And to be all around his family, that's just something I didn't want because I was used to city life and I was just accustomed to certain things. And they were accustomed to the things they was accustomed to, which is, I'm trying to be nice here. So y'all can just take that as it is. Okay, so moving along. I got back from the military, from the Marine Corps, telling me like, hey, it was approved. You can stay in if you want to. So I asked him what he wanted to do. At the time, I was on the fence about everything. I really didn't want to like stay in, but that was all I knew at the moment. And thank God, you know, he was saying, no, girl, you're behind it to stay in because, sweetie, you about to be by yourself. Okay, so I didn't know that. Anywho, so re-upped. We for sure, at this time is honestly, right after I did that, like 4 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant for sure. So I found out about home pregnancy tests. I thought it was lying. I took like 10 of them. I was in straight denial because of my job. I would get sick like I would with pregnancy because you're around new people. We called it the recruit crud. You would throw up. There was so much stuff that like pregnancy has at the beginning that I literally thought that I wasn't pregnant. Now I was pregnant the entire time. So I've been in a gas chamber. I've been on numerous of hikes. I've been running. I've been hiking. I've been doing all the things. Okay. And by the time I found out, I was 3 months pregnant. Okay. So it was like, as soon as I found out, I got sicker. And I was like, what the heck? The only thing I knew is I wore a belt during that time around my waist, which I will show y'all. Or if I haven't already popped up the picture. Yeah, that thing was starting to bother me. And that was something new that I never dealt with. So, yeah. But anywho, fast forward, we done found out we're pregnant. Well, I started to know something was up because, yes, it was during COVID, but he was never coming to see me. He would always go see family. And I'm like, you just going home way too much. Now, mind you, his current wife was there. So I didn't know that then because, you know, I'm pregnant. But during this time, you know, he would talk really nasty to me. He would say that I cheated on him with somebody I worked with who was going through the same thing that, you know, I eventually went through. And he had kids of his own. And like, we just talked. I didn't really associate myself with a lot of people because I didn't have time. Like, I worked alongside guys, but like, I didn't have time for that. But he swore up and down that my son, who was walking around living and breathing, was not his. Now, y'all have all seen Trey in some type of video or something. Trey looks nothing like me. If you really see his other side, he looks literally identical to him. Like, he got none of my features. None. Nothing. Maybe some attitude stuff, but nothing. Oh, y'all, I'm sorry. I'm being a mom right now today. It's Saturday. I'm doing laundry. So you're seeing this on Sunday. So this is Sunday reset day, okay? But, yeah, so anywho, that's what was happening during that time. So I definitely wasn't up for filming like I used to on YouTube anymore. But I kept telling everybody, I'm going to go back to YouTube. I'm going to go back to YouTube because the videos were extremely long. They were like 30 to 40 minutes long, okay? Some of that I really need to been editing. And so I would say that, like, oh, guys, I'm going to go back, but I never did. Thank God during that time, I learned how to kind of have my intro. I didn't really have no intro. I was just, hey, loves. That's the only thing I had. And then I would kind of go into everything else. Like now I can post my scripture and not have to like take a long period of time for y'all to read it. That I used to have to read that when I was doing it on Facebook and IGTV. So yeah, that was another thing. So all this was happening to come up to me doing the platform I do now. But I wanted to bring awareness about the military life. So that's some of what I'm talking about right now as well, because we're about to, dive in as we finish up. But I kind of want to speak on a little bit of domestic violence, okay? I don't really like to say I was in a domestic violence situation because mine wasn't like, it doesn't matter. Somebody put their hands on you, that's just domestic, period. But like, it wasn't as crazy. I've heard a lot of different stories, and I want you to know that don't matter how small or big it is, it's wrong for either party, male or female, okay? So that's what we're about to dive into next. So anywho, yeah, with the military life though, the lifestyle, it's a lot of stuff that seems bigger because we're not just subject to laws out in town, we're also subject to the UCMJ. Okay, so that's the military code, the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Sorry, I was saying that all wrong. So it's like a double whammy. Okay, so while I am baking, I'm using my sriracha. I told you I don't know the name of this doggone powder. I do know the name of it. I just don't know how to properly say it. Okay. So we'll pretty much finish up right here. The crazy story time in my life. Okay, that's the powder. So, yeah, like I said, he was going home, seeing his current wife. I didn't know that then. He was accusing me of cheating, doing all of these things. And, he was saying that my son wasn't his. So fast forward to August of 2020. Okay. He decided, to tell me at the end of July that he wanted to move back home. I never pressured him and said anything because I was just like, this is just the hand I'm dealt. Honestly, sometimes the life that you're living is just like, I don't have time to like go through all this. Now, mind you, we had done marriage counseling, we done pre-marriage counseling, and we did marriage counseling. And at the time, I was thinking like we can talk to somebody in the church to kind of give us some things to relate back to church. Well, he didn't want that. And out of my ignorance and not knowing, I should have took that as he's still opening up. But all we would do is complain and never got anything from the counselor herself. So I'm very big on like who you get to actually kind of help you. It might be homework. It might be, a breathing technique, stepping away, anything. We didn't get any of that when we did counseling. But anywho, so he decided he wanted to move back home. He moved back home at the 1st of August. He was home for 3 weeks and we had our son. Okay, my son, I like to say. So a week and a half later, new mom, y'all will see if you're not a mom or if you are a mom, all the like things you get at the beginning, people tell you about seeds. They tell you about so much stuff like you just jumping up every like 2 to 3 seconds, like to make sure they breathing. I don't know. It was a very nerve-wracking thing. Well, I did that from the night September 1st, from the night we went to sleep all the way up to September 2nd when we woke up that morning. So it was around 6:30, so 6:30 in the morning. And I asked him to watch Trey because I really need to get some sleep. I was tired. I had been watching him all night and like pop it up, just I'm asleep, pop it up. It was just like crazy. And I guess I asked him at the wrong time and he had been talking to his current wife and I didn't know, like in my house, because he wasn't paying no bills there. So it was definitely my house. But I didn't know that during that time because I'm thinking like he really wanted to work it out. He was claiming he wanted to work it out, but he had set his sights on new things, like things that he wanted. He wanted to be back home. I was in the military. Until my contract was up, like I couldn't leave, you know what I'm saying? So he started cursing me out. Now, if y'all know me, I don't curse. Okay, so all my little recruitees that don't subscribe, they know that about me. I don't curse. That's just never been my thing, and it's not going to be my thing. So yeah. Anywho, he was like cursing in front of my child, and I was just very like antsy because I'm like, I want him to do better than I did. My dad always used to say that about us. I want to do it, with my baby. That's how it was. Anywho, he was cursing me out, and I remember one phrase he said I was a silly woman, and I'm like, for asking you to watch your child, like why I gotta be silly? And so at that point, I was like, if you don't want to watch them, as a mom, most moms have the responsibility. It doesn't matter if you're married or single. And I'm like, yes, you can have a little bit more help than a single person, but most of the time you're still doing all these things like a single mom does. So I was like, let me go get them. So I walk out the bedroom, and this is graphic part, okay? And I'm not saying too graphic because I'm not gonna get into too much detail about that, but like it could be a trigger. So, anywho, I walk out the bedroom, and the way my old apartment was set up, it was like the living room was right there. My couch was on this side, and I had a love seat, like parting the walk space to the kitchen, the extra bedroom, bathroom, dining, and laundry room, and out the front door. So I looked over. I have been in a situation before where I was assaulted in a sense by an ex-boyfriend, and I told him about it. So I remember looking at him because of the things that happened with that situation. So I looked over. He wasn't holding my son. He wasn't doing anything, because that's what triggered my ex-boyfriend. I thumped a cigarette out of his mouth because it was touching him. He felt the way, and he smacked me. Okay. So there was a whole tussle with that. Told him about that whole situation. I never wanted that to happen again, because I didn't say anything for a long, long time about that until he didn't understand we was broke up. And then I had to get the military authorities involved. It was weird. So mind you, I done told him all this of my past. So made sure when I looked over, I don't know why, like I still replay that in my head now, that he wasn't touching my son. My son was just laying on the couch. Now, mind you, he's only a week and a half old, and this boy was doing the most. And I reached to go pick him up, and like he violently shoves me. So I'm telling you, he shoved me so hard. It wasn't that much room from where my couch was and where my bar was, okay, to separate my kitchen. And like, mind you, I just had Trey. Trey's only a week and a half. I had a vaginal birth. So not having a kid before, he tore me in a couple of places. So I'm healing and recovering from that. Okay, so if you had a kid, you know what I'm talking about, all the stuff that you got to do down there. Okay, I am doing that. And the instant that, like, as soon as I hit the ground, I'm about to say dick. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still thoroughly indoctrinated, as I say sometimes, but I hit the ground, and yeah, I try to get back up because I wanted to make sure Trey didn't move off the couch because of him being stupid. And like, he keeps shoving me and shoving me. Anyway, that goes on or whatever. And I'm trying to reach for my baby. He don't want me to get my baby for some odd reason. And I think after a while, when I was like saying like, what the heck are you doing? Like, get off of me. Don't touch me. All this kind of stuff. He decides, I'm a loud person. If that's one thing about me, I'm loud. Okay, I'm trying to also make this where I don't cry either. Okay, so I'm gonna have to make a joke here too. Okay, and so that's why I was good at my job. Okay, because you had to scream at them jokers and you had to be heard. Trust me, if I scream now, I know my attention already done got Trey. Now he likes to try me, but anyway, moving on. I was loud, and I was more concerned for my son. I wasn't even concerned for myself. I was getting over that type of way I was feeling or whatever. So he's like started saying like, settle down, as if I came and attacked him. So at that point, I knew I had to go. Like, I was gonna have to leave. So he decided, now mind you, when I met him, he was under 200 pounds. At this point, he was pushing 300 pounds. And I know most people are like, you lying. No, I'm serious, because I went to him with the doctor, and I remember him being like 260 something. Like, the boy was pushing. That was way before he even got the military. Once he got the military, this boy ate and ate and ate and ate and ate. And he was already a big boy back in the day. So it was so easy to put that weight back on quickly. He couldn't work out because of his knee and all that stuff. So he sat all that weight, I'll never forget, on my chest, and I can barely breathe. And once he realized that, he got up and just like left out the room. So I went and got a bag, and I was going to leave out. Well, this idiot called, like, he texted my mom and tell her that we got in an altercation. So she's going to work and she can't really read everything. She texted my dad, telling him to call me. So I flat out just tell him what happened, because I'm like, why would you tell my parents that? Like, you're an idiot. So that's what happened that day. So he left after that. And then 3 months later, he never came back. I got served. And that was like the toughest time in my life. So in 2020 of November, having my son for 3 months by myself, I got served to say that he wanted. Okay, love. So we're back, and this is kind of how we're gonna have to look for the day. I tried to do a necklace with this hair, but it wasn't giving like I wanted to. So I'm like, it is what it is. So I put on my lip combo and like finished up everything. So if you don't know, I use Brownies by Juvia's Place, which I pretty much say that all the time, muted. And I did change up the gloss. I have sweet mouth, so you got the sweet mouth. But anywho, while this over here poking out looking crazy. So I just kind of wanted to finish up. I also just got finished moisturizing my elbows and stuff. So yeah, I kind of wanted to bring this up because honestly too, I have been thinking about it. I've been dwelling on it for a while, and I kind of wanted to let people know a little bit more like about the real me and why I really wanted to just do YouTube so bad. I kind of wanted to escape the narrative that of what I was going through right then. I mean, it's not all bad because I do have my son out of it. And you know, too, I've been looking at social media as of late. Twitter talk, the girls be talking. And honestly, it's a lot of stuff that's been saying, you know, I'm not going to be a single mom and go out and do all these things. Girl, I did all them things and look where I'm at. So, I mean, it may seem bad, but at the end of the day, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. So my life at the end of the tunnel, now that we are dressed, I got officially divorced last year on November 19th. Which was ironic because 10 days prior to that, I had purchased my very own home. My first time home buyer. I got me a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home. So I was very happy because it was like a ranch. It's a bungalow style, but like a ranch style home. So it's one level. We were dealing with that stairs and it was very dangerous with my son learning to walk and everything. So that was something that was good. I still have my son. He's a healthy baby. He may not get to know that side as much because that is on them. But he still has me. He still gets to know this side. He still has aunts and uncles. And even though it seems like, not that he seemed like he lost that side of the family, with me being in the military, he still has like a family. You know what I'm saying? Each time, like, I just had my friend hit me up today asking me why I film if I wanted to drop Trey off. And I'm just like, you know, it's things like that. So, and then on April 12th, like I said, I'm going to be officially back to my original name. So like kind of no ties with that. So outside of Trey, like there's no ties to that. So I'm very happy about that. I mean, I still deal, like I said earlier, I still deal with spells where I'm just like, you know, sad and upset. And it's just like, I'm happy that we're over, but I'm like, how could you leave a child in this state? Granted, my son doesn't know, and you only know what you're taught. And like, eventually when he gets older, he'll see that, but this could be his norm. And just hopefully that God gives me the grace, you know, to be able to explain certain things for you know, to him, because his dad did ask to see him once a month, like one weekend a month. So he has to drive 15 hours or whatever. But he chose, you know, not to do that anymore. And, you know, under 4 are like the crucial years for a child for them to learn everything. But I was like, at the end of the day, like I want it to happen, but I don't want it to happen because I do want him to separate because I don't want to deal with him because like my anxiety of everything sometimes. And then like my highs and lows with like depression, because we all suffer from depression, whether it's severe or not. Because like some days it seems like you have the blues. That's a form of depression. Now, granted, y'all, I ain't no doctor, okay? I'm no doctor. I'm just telling you to seek help, okay? But that is a form of depression. It's just how you can bounce out of it. So I know I can get out of it because I'm under the grace of God. But at the same time, too, I know I need to seek counseling, too. So there's nothing wrong with that. And then, too, I know as my son gets older, if we have issues, that he does the same. So that's what I really wanted to bring to you guys. And I'll let you know, like, look at me. I'm still growing. I'm 300 strong. Gang. Okay, we're going to 400. So I do thank God for my little journey that I've been on. Even though I had some ups and downs, I pretty much told y'all about my life in the military. You know, I am in the military, and, you know, I was once married. Domestic violence was a part of my life at one point, but now these are the things that are in my life. I'm a single mom, thriving. I have a great YouTube channel. I have a good career in the military going on 12 years. I may be even seeking other things, you know what I'm saying? But I know God is going to bless me on those 4. Okay, so I was pretty much trying to sum that up and tell you guys, like, About my military life, like, yes, I'm in the Marine Corps, and yes, this branch is a little tougher than the others, but like in being in the military in general, it's like you're in a whole different world. But it doesn't matter whether you're in the civilian world or in the military world. Do not accept any type of violence that's done, or do not do any type of violence to anyone. Mine wasn't as severe, but like things can still play on you. So please don't, put your hands on anyone, talk down to anyone, make them feel a certain type of way. Okay, that was the whole point of me putting it out there. I wanted to put out that I was in the military. That is the branch that I'm in. These things did happen to me. But during all of those things, I found a hobby, which this is my hobby. I love filming. I love doing YouTube. I honestly love finding these savings, these great deals, and that's what I really wanted to get to everybody. So during those struggles of my life and me going through those things, becoming a mom, becoming a divorcee, and all those things, I found a great way to save, which I know it may not seem like it to y'all, but that was a light for me, because I didn't know I was going to be a single mom or a divorcee and all those things. So now I'm living on a stricter budget. Okay. So I'm going to be going to grab some groceries later on this week. And I want to make sure I can maximize my budget. So I'm gonna have a certain amount. You see the inflation in like everything. So I want to make sure my dollar goes far. So that was all through all those struggles, and letting you guys know that that's kind of how Slay on a Budget came, because I'm always trying to slay, okay? But I also want to slay my budget to make sure I can maximize my dollar. So that was the whole point. I just want to let you know, no matter what circumstances that you're going through, you can get through it, one, with God, and also seeking the professional help that is needed. There's nothing wrong with asking for help, okay? I'm actually about to go see a therapist and kind of get some type of therapy, because I don't like to say I have things, but I do know I have a little bit of anxiety, and I kind of need to work those things out. So there's nothing wrong with saying that. And I hope you guys like the makeup look as I did this little talk, and letting you guys know a little bit more about me, about my military life, and how it is to honestly kind of do what you want to do. So that was the whole thing behind it. The military, divorcee, finding my new love for nails and couponing and all those things, and budgets. And that's how Slay on a Budget came about. That was the birth of Slay on a Budget. So yeah, you have made it to the end of the video. Thank you for rocking with your girl. Please comment down below letting me know what you thought about this video. Also the product of the video, which are these sponge makeup cases. And let me know what you think about that. With that being said, y'all know we're on the road to 400. So as we try to go to Slay Fam, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to follow me over on my social medias. You can find me on IG, TikTok, and Twitter. And I'm at Slay on a Budget 0 on all 3 platforms. With that, don't forget to stay on a budget. Don't forget that God loves you, and so do I. And until next time, loves. Bye.